You're watching.
You are watching
The Adventures
of
Joe and Jim.
So far on the Adventures of Joe and Jim, we have followed our bucket list around 6 South American countries. On the last episode, we took a spontaneous 3-day bus journey into Paraguay, when we accidentally arrived on the exact day they celebrate their independence. Today we are leaving Paraguay, and being unable to face another gruelling bus ride, we are travelling by plane to a small Bolivian border town called Copacabana, where we will cross over into our 7th country, Peru, to find the indigenous Uros people of Lake Titicaca. As we waited for the bus to take us into Peru, we couldn't leave Bolivia without having the locals' favourite drink, Machu Picchu.
It's their famous Bolivian drink. It's got a little peach at the bottom there. Here we go, I'm not going to get ill. It tastes like Christmas. That's the only way I can describe it. It tastes like Christmas. Cinnamony, sugar, peach thing. With a rotten peach at the bottom. Very good. Good. Wow. She doesn't like the camera. So yeah, when you come to Bolivia, come try a rotten peach drink.
Our bus has arrived, and if we had known beforehand how our bus would cross over into Peru, I would have had my Machu Picchu with a big dose of alcohol. This bus carrying raft looks like it was made by the world's worst carpenter in a time before the invention of buses. Lake Titicaca is shared by Bolivia and Peru, so taking this raft is the quickest option across the border. A 14-year-old kid that seems more concerned about what's up his nose than the direction he's going in is our captain today. With every creak of a board, my confidence in him plummets as I envision sinking to the bottom of this ancient lake. But today would not be our day to meet a watery grave. We made it to the dry land of Peru and headed to a town called Puno. From here we would sail on Lake Titicaca again, in search of the indigenous Uros people. But why are we searching the lake? Well, the Uros people are an indigenous group that predate the Inca civilization. They chose to live on this lake as a defensive tactic against the Incas.
There they are, we've arrived.
They live on floating islands made of layers and layers of totora reed, a reed that is plentiful in this area. Today there is around 70 islands and growing. As we arrive on the island that can only be described as a giant swan nest, we were quickly welcomed to view one of the locals' houses.
This one or that one? Hola. This one? So we're in their house.
It's their bed. So this is like his bedroom and living room and everything else. How comfy is his bed? Not very. So this is their houses. Sturdy enough.
So apparently you've got to build a new island every 30 years. So it's 30 years on this island. I've been on this island for 5 minutes. I'm bored out my fucking head.
Don't suppose anyone smokes here, because apparently this will all disappear in 15 minutes if a flame is lit. A little bit dodgy.
You may be wondering why we look deflated in this segment of the video. We have realised that we have fallen into a textbook tourist trap. Don't get me wrong, the actual island itself is an engineering marvel. But off camera we are being bombarded to buy little trinkets left, right and centre. I have no doubt that in parts of this lake this is the way of life for some people, but this one has me questioning its authenticity. We climb to the highest peak and wave for help. If only they could handcraft us an SOS flare gun so we can leave this island. We patiently wait to be rescued. as the others from our tour buy enough handcrafted bracelets to drag them under the reeds. Finally, another boat arrives to take us away, but not until we pay an extra cost.
This is famous Mercedes-Benz in Lake Titicaca. It's for tourists.
We are ready to set sail from the island of handicrafts, but not until we listen to a rendition of a childhood classic that feels like with every verse these ladies die a little inside.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Unlike the Terminator, I won't be back. This felt like some sort of human zoo that the tour had created. The rehearsed singing, this Mercedes-Benz boat, all feels like a fake charade to get your money, rather than experiencing the culture with the indigenous Oros people.
She just dropped her.
At least we were going back to the city to continue our adventure. Except we're not.
Hola.
We have been taken to another island and have been stranded by our boat again.
You esperada. Gracias.
We spend the rest of our tour here, stranded, on Restaurant Island. After being stranded for a few more hours, we eventually made it off the floating islands and started an 8-hour-long bus journey north to our next city, Cusco. But our stranded days weren't over yet, as we ran into a little trouble along the way.
Yeah, I thought we got away with it. This is our 7th country now. Bus is broke down. So we had a good run, but I think we're going to be here a while now. Still fixing the back. See what happens.
Judging by the state of this bus, the driver is no stranger to a few collisions and breakdowns. So in only a couple hours we are back on the road again. Finally, we arrive at night in Cusco, the old capital of the Incas. Having eaten nothing all day, we are in search of a big dinner. Seeing as the potato was first domesticated in Peru, we will have that on the side of two old Inca favourites, alpaca and a dish still loved by locals today, guinea pig.
Oh my god, it's fucking huge. You said it was small. Absolutely huge.
One picture?
Gracias.
Picture.
Gracias.
In Peru, just about to try some alpaca. A little bit nervous, looks a little bit weird, but very surprised. Very, very, very surprised. Really nice. It's incredibly tender meat.
It did come out whole and then they chopped it up. But that's its head. So not really that appetizing. Just pick it up and feel sick. Okay, I'm going to try some now. If I'm honest, I don't know where to start. It's all just bubbling bits of flesh. Actually, it's like chicken. I'm not even just saying that. I know everyone always says that when something's weird, but actually it's just like chicken. I don't really like their faces looking at me when I want to eat it. He's got all blisters on the side of his face and I can see his teeth as well. I used to want one of these when I was 12. Now I'm fucking eating one.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all, it's all chewy. It's fucking disgusting, mate. It does taste like chicken to me. It's all a bit shit in it. It's actually like shatting. Look.
Where's that green stuff? That actually has to be like outside guts. Can't eat anymore.
It's fucking horrible. How can any of these people really like it? Guinea pig, it's disgusting. See ya.
Wake up, James.
Morning time in Cusco. The sun peers over the 3,000-year-old city as if in search for the Incas who once worshipped it. To no avail, its rays catches the bronze statue of Inca Emperor Pachacuti, famed for transforming Cusco into the Inca Empire. Below, he looks over colonial Spanish cathedrals that lay on the foundation of his once great kingdom, believed by the Incas to be the belly button of the world. We, like many other travellers, are using Cusco as the gateway to a wonder of the world, our second wonder of the world, Machu Picchu. So before we set off through the sacred valley, we are spending our morning ticking off the bucket list that most people have when in Peru. Explore the ancient city, hold a baby llama, or alpaca, I can't tell the difference, and try not to mention their relative was on the menu last night.
Right, man. We're in Peru holding baby llamas.
All before skipping to our pre-booked bus to start the journey to Machu Picchu. We were told by the nice ticket lady the journey is simple. A luxury bus will take us from Cusco and drop us at a hydroelectric power plant. Then it's a 5-minute walk along an abandoned train track to a town called Aguas Calientes where we will spend the night. Then the next morning, trek through the misty mountains to the world-famous Machu Picchu. Should be a nice journey, except something was wrong with Jim.
What is this pain I'm feeling? Deep down in my stomach. I think I've heard about this before. The famed traveller's diarrhea. It happens to the best of us eventually, I guess. Avoid the tap water, no ice please, and stay clear of the salads at all costs. Just some of the age-old advice given by those older, wiser men to come before us. This is bad. Really bad. Arse-clenchingly bad. I'm starting to regret eating that rancid-looking guinea pig back in Cusco. It may be a local delicacy here, but certainly not where I come from, and definitely not something my stomach is well accustomed to. I guess this is the revenge I deserve for eating what most in my country would consider to be nothing more than a cute, fluffy little pet, an ideal present for any small child to love, right up until its final days, and not as something that belongs anywhere near a menu. I've just got to keep hoping and clenching that nothing unexpected would trigger my bowels. Fuck. That was a close one. I really didn't need that. When you're this high up, there's not a lot of room for error. Digesting that information alone is good enough to give any man the shits, let alone having to digest a guinea pig to boot for at least another few hours. We've arrived. To my belated joy, we have finally reached our destination. According to the information we were given, it's nothing but plain sailing from here on out. Just got to get up this hill, then it's a 5-minute stroll following the abandoned railway tracks and onto the bathroom. I don't see this town. Seriously, where is it? I didn't sign up for this. I'm in absolutely no physical state to start a I don't know how many hours trek. Just a gentle reminder, that guinea pig hasn't gone away. It hasn't upped and left my guts on its own accord. I'm still battling my way through this internal struggle with that demonic force still ravaging the insides of me. Well, this is it. Today's the day I soil myself. I've had a good run, but now I know my luck has come to an end. I've accepted my fate. Wait, I think I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. No, it's just a train, of course. The one that could have easily run us over in the last couple of hours. I made it. I can't believe I finally made it.
Aguas Calientes, meaning hot waters in Spanish, is an isolated town tucked away between towering mountains, cloud forests, and 2 raging rivers. No roads or paths connect this remote village to the rest of Peru. The railway we now know is the only route in. Before its completion, this town was used as a camp for the railway workers. Today, it is used by tourists as a one-night stopover before Machu Picchu. Having been here 3 days due to Jim unable to leave the toilet, we are most likely this town's longest residents.
Where's it coming from?
There is little to do here, so for 3 days I've been on my own admiring the views, as Jim admires the back of a hotel toilet door.
This is the worst thing about my life.
But today the never-ending fountain coming from Jim's arse has run dry, and the curse of the guinea pig is over, so we can finally start our trek to Machu Picchu. Now there are different ways to get to Machu Picchu. The hardest and most popular is the Inca Trail, a 4-day trek that gets booked up fast, hence why we don't have a ticket. The easiest option is to go by bus, but that just seems wrong, so we are opting for the medium difficulty option, to trek from Aguas Calientes along a trail called Camino Peatonal. As we set off, our old friend Pachacuti points us towards the misty mountains and to the starting point of our bucket list quest, to find the lost city of Machu Picchu.
We found ourselves a little companion, little perro, little doggy. He's showing us the way. He's actually waiting for us as well. We're going to Machu Picchu. Don't know how long this is going to take, approximately about 2 hours to get to the top. But hopefully my shits have gone. I've had a load of diarrhea pills. And hopefully it's a pleasant experience. I think we need to keep up with our new dog. Ciao. Hey doggy, show us the way. This is the toughest trek I've ever been on. Look, we're actually in the clouds. Let's keep on moving, shall we?
Our newfound friend seems so excited to see Machu Picchu, he runs off never to be seen again, clearly realising that if we're struggling now, we will most likely perish before elevating the 2,430 metres above sea level to Machu Picchu.
Let's move out.
It's not that we're unfit, it's just we have overlooked the main challenge of trekking in the Andes.
Forgot about the altitude up here. I said let's move!
Luckily we have bought an old Inca remedy from Cusco's market, the coca leaf. Although the beginning product of cocaine, the Incas weren't nightclub dwelling party animals. Its natural plant form is harmless and has been used for thousands of years in the Andes to help with fatigue and altitude sickness.
We'll get the coca leaves in, help with the altitude. How many are you meant to have?
Yeah.
Handful, you shove it inside of your mouth.
Yeah.
They're disgusting. Alright. Got a feather in there. Would you like a coca leaf?
With our altitude sickness gone, we started to bump into tourists along the trail, which gave me an idea.
Maybe we could earn a bit of money on the side. I can play the flute.
Get some money.
Yeah, we'll give you $1. You got a little work to do, I'm afraid. That's a fret joke.
Right.
That was Baa Black Sheep.
It'll be worth it. Hey. It'll be worth it.
So we've walked so high.
We can reach the sky.
We're in the clouds and it's raining now.
Actually, look, when you look up at the sky and you see clouds, we're in, floating around.
We're in one. Let's get to the top. Come on, let's go.
Oh, it's pissing it.
Although our plan to make money failed, the coca leaves didn't, giving us the energy boost we needed to get our first glance at the lost city of the Inca.
By the gods. The view.
Scattered along the mountainside of this ancient city were the homes of the Inca, But this was only the beginning. If we wanted to get that postcard view, we would have to climb higher.
This is where the Incas would have lived. In this little house. Out here. Hola, amigo. Working hard or hardly working?
This bloke's fitting the last rock. Once he's done that, he's built the whole entire place. Just got to smash that one rock. I think he's made it. He's done it. Alright, one more little stone.
The last climb up the stone steps feels like a stairway to heaven, where we perch ourselves on the mountainside to get a glimpse of the wonder of the world. Well, at least it was worth it.
He's an amazing view there. And
That's so amazing.
when the clouds clear, it's really nice. I mean, I love it at the minute when it's just as clear as it is today. We had such a fucking lucky day. It's beautiful.
So we're at top of Machu Picchu. Eating coca leaves. This is what you do.
Kind of good.
Oh, we're just waiting for the view of Machu Picchu. As you can see, we're so high that we're in the clouds. So what you do, you get some coca leaves, you screw them up, shove them in the back of your mouth. Go on, man.
I've already got loads in my mouth.
Just do it again. Look how much he's got in his mouth. Tastes absolutely dirty at first, and your teeth grind them into a paste. Well, your mouth goes numb.
It's like the beginning of Blow. It's the movie Blow.
You could take my wisdom tooth out right now. You wouldn't feel it. I think it'll give you a bit of energy as well. Just waiting for Machu Picchu.
It's so unbelievably disgusting at first. It's just grass. You're just eating grass at first.
It's clearing. Machu Picchu.
There she is.
Machu Picchu, meaning old peak in the native Quechua tongue, appears, as though the mountains have unveiled it for us. Built without the use of the wheel or mortar, the stones fit so intricately together that they are said to dance during earthquakes before settling back into place. For 100 years it lay hidden from the world, nestled high up on the Andes Mountains. And if found, like many other Inca sites, it would have most likely been plundered or destroyed.
Let us tell you a tale about the Incas.
July 1911. American explorer Hiram Bingham is led by locals to the lost city of Machu Picchu, revealing its existence to the world. Believed by archaeologists to be built in the 15th century as a royal estate for 9th Inca Emperor Pachacuti. By the time the Incas were on their 13th emperor, Atahualpa, the Inca civilization had been around for 300 years. Until this guy shows up. Francisco Pizarro, a Spanish conquistador promised by the King of Spain that he would be governor of any land he conquered. After arriving in Peru, he heard stories of a great ruler and riches in the mountains. Pizarro, on his quest for wealth, went in search of the Inca emperor and took him hostage. Despite being given a room full of gold and silver as ransom, Pizarro killed Atahualpa. With the last of the Inca kings dead, and the smallpox disease introduced by the Europeans, the Inca Empire had fallen. Luckily, the conquistadors never reached Machu Picchu, as it was abandoned upon the arrival of the Spanish. This is how Hiram Bingham saw it, as he pointed his camera and snapped the first photo of Machu Picchu. The first photo of millions that have been taken today. 104 years later, we are looking through the lens of our own camera, in the same spot, surrounded by a sea of tourists. Just like Bingham on his quest to find the lost city, we are on a quest of our own. And today, one achievement closer in our journey to completing the bucket list.
This is the Adventures of Joe and Jim's second wonder of the world.
La Maravilla del Mundo. It's in Espanol for you Spanish boys and girls out there. He's the wonder of the world.
Sure does. So, Peru, you've been amazing. We're gonna watch the wonder of the world and eat some damn coca leaves.
What do you say after travelling over 10,500 miles and ending with a view like this? How do I sum up this 6-month journey? The truth is, I can't. The bucket list says it all. We have travelled by every mode of transport and met people from all walks of life. We've explored some of the most diverse landscapes South America has to offer, broke bread with locals and eaten local delicacies that broke us. Slept anywhere and everywhere or not slept at all. We expected the unexpected and at times still left confused. We danced with 2 left feet and crossed 2 wonders of the world off the bucket list. At times, we got lost in translation.
No español, man.
We can't speak Spanish.
But ended up getting myself a Brazilian girlfriend that can't speak a word of English, who today, for the first time in her life, is getting on a plane and leaving Brazil to meet us in Peru's capital, Lima. Little did we know, the short week we would spend together would be our last in South America. After Deborah flew back to Brazil, me and Jim continued our journey on a bus bound for Ecuador. Upon arrival, we opened our bag to find our camera had been replaced with a water bottle. We had been robbed on the bus as we slept. Unable to film our last 2 South American countries, we decided to go home. Leaving South America unfinished, a bucket list unchecked, and not knowing if I would see my Brazilian girlfriend again.
So this is the Adventures of Joe and Jim. Cut.
Ay, peso. Mucho.
Wait.
You are watching the adventure of Joe and
That was so...
I know.
feel as I'm in a Crash Bandicoot. Go on. Don't know what I was going to say. Go on.
Excuse me.
No. Excuse me. No.
I don't know how you... If you're in a cloud, we're inside the cloud.
Excuse me. Yeah, see.
Right, take 2. Feel as I'm in Crash Bandicoot. Each time you step up the left, there. Go on.
You are... No.
Peru. Just about to try some alpaca. How do you say it?
Alpaca. Take 2.
You...
I'm in Peru. Just about to try my alpaca. Can't say it. How do you say it?
No!
Don't have a...
I don't know what to say. Actually, don't know what to say about it.
Like this?
These little hot bits.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
I'm thirsty.
I'm thirsty.
I'm thirsty.
Finding loads of good gear up here. Just found an official Inca shaver toolkit. In the 1999s.
What's your phone number?
What's
What's
phone number?
your phone number?
What's your
phone
phone number?
Call me.
Come.
We'll be speaking English before we know it.
Comment.
Call me.
Comment. Comment.
Found this other thing around here. Official rock. Throw that at people if you don't like.
This is take 2.
I love you, Joey.
Have you got lipstick on your face? Get 2 or 3.
Oh, you are
Got write it on a bit of paper.
fancy.
You are watching
You are watching
the adventure.
the adventure. Joey and Jean.